Hey YouTube, so what's up today? On Monster Building Part 4, we are working on building the mouth plate of our character and working on sewing the fur head, putting fleece on the mouth plate, and putting that in the head, as along with the foam skull. See you guys there. So the first thing you want to do, if anything, is sew up the head. And the first seam we're going to sew on the head is now this pattern is a little different than the one I used in the last video because it's different for different everything, but because I'm working on a new character. But what we're going to do is we're going to sew up this seam right here, which pretty much accents the middle of our head to get that circle shape. So I'll sew that up and we'll be right back. So now we have the two parts, the two middle seams on the head sewn on the heads. So next, if you can see, that's a nice simple whip stitch on that part that I did for it. Here we go. You guys can see that. It's a simple, nice, easy whip stitch. So next what we're going to do is we're going to next sew the head together. So first I'm going to sew the bottom jaw, I guess, and then we'll sew the top, and I'll come back when the head's all sewn. Then we'll work on the mouth plate. So now I have the head all sewn up. As you can see, it's all hand sewn now. So once you have the head sewn up, it should look something like this. We're not going to turn it inside out just yet because next what we're going to work on is building a mouth plate, which will eventually look like this, or a little bit like this, but it'll be a little different. So what we're going to first do is you're going to want to have some extra scraps of foam. If you have any laying around, or just some foam in general, you're going to want to have some foam pieces to go in the mouth plate, so you don't have just the plastic in there, so it's hard to manipulate the character. So what you're going to do, you're going to take about a 1-inch piece, I'd say, yeah, 1.5 inch piece of foam, this way, 1.5 inch piece of foam this way, and about 7 inches this way of foam, and this will be a piece that goes inside the mouth plate on the top to help you puppeteer the mouth plate. And then you also have a thumb palette, which we'll talk about in a minute, to fit you and other puppeteers. So once you have the measurements for that done and cut out for the top piece, what you're going to want to do is then you're going to want to put a fleece material on the inside of that, so that when you flip it around, when you stick your fingers in, it's fleece on the inside so you don't feel all that foam. Okay? And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. So now, as you can see, I have the some green fleece on a piece of foam. Kind of looks like a sponge for washing dishes, which is funny. But what we're going to do is we're going to just glue that into a circle like that. So then that'll be easy. So for the actual mouth plate, what you're going to want to do is you should have a pattern that looks like a half sphere. What you're going to want to do is cut that out and cut 2 of them out of either cardboard or plastic. Or even you can use gasket rubber, which is also something people use for mouth plates. But you want to cut out 2 of them, and then once they're like that, you're going to want to put them about maybe 1/4 apart, maybe 1/2 inch, depends on how big your mouth plate is, or how big your hand is to the puppet. Then what you're going to want to do is, once that's like that, you're going to want to tape it, put a piece of tape along it straight on one side and one on the other side. It's kind of what I did here, if you can see that, barely, but you can kind of see how I did it here. So once it's taped, you have a mouth plate. So once you have your mouth plate cut out, taped, and sort of put together, you're going to want to take this top piece that you use for here, and you're going to want to glue it in the middle of the top jaw, sort of like that, with the sort of place where we glued the circle facing towards the mouth plate. So then you can manipulate the top jaw if you needed, or it's just like a better grip. Now, for the, so once we have that glued onto the top, as you can see, it makes the mouth plate a little bit easier to work with so your hand's not flopping around inside the head. So next what you want to do is work on a thumb grip. How we're going to do that is you're going to take your thumb here and take a piece of foam or scrap of foam and lay your thumb sort of in the middle of that piece, and so sort of like lay it like that, and sort of make like a curled piece, and I'll show you what it'll look like in a minute. So once you're done, your piece should look something like this, so that once it's like that, it kind of gives sort of a shape to your thumb like that. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to do the same thing and put fleece on the inside of it, and I'll come back and show you what to do next. So once you have this piece cut out and have the felt on one side, yet again it does look like a sponge, what you want to do is you take the bottom mouth plate and sort of lay your thumb on there like that, and sort of figure out how you want to glue it on there. It's going to look kind of like a pouch on there, sort of like that on the bottom, so sort of like that. I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. So once your thing is glued on, it should look something sort of like this on the bottom jaw. It's kind of like a pouch, like I said. So it's pretty easy. You just kind of stick your thumb in the pouch, stick your two fingers in the middle one, and if you want, you can add two more for these fingers on the outside, so you still have a very easy jaw to manipulate like this, sort of. But overall, you can really see now how puppeteering works. You really only are moving the bottom jaw, because if you talked with your whole mouth, it kind of would look something like that. Some characters have that, some characters don't. Most characters just move their bottom jaw. But, you know, some characters, you know, if we really did manipulate both parts of the jaw, it kind of look really, really, really weird, you know? Like, really, really weird, you know? Kind of manipulating everything to a different bowl. It's kind of weird, but yeah. Now we're gonna put the black fleece on the mouth plate. Next, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab some black fleece if you have any, which I actually have some because I'm working on a few puppets, or monsters, I should say, that need it for their mouths. So, which is actually not a big piece, really. It's just a thick piece enough for mouth plates. And what you want to do is glue it and show you what I mean. So next, what you want to do is you're going to want to glue the mouth plate onto the fleece, like this, and then I'll show you how to cut it out and how much you should leave on the ends to flip over, and then we'll put it in the head. So once you have your mouth plate glued down to the fleece, what you want to do is you want to cut 1/2 inch about around the mouth plate, and I'll show you what that looks like. So after you have your circle of 1/2 inch cut out, you're going to want to glue it to the edge like that. So once you have the mouth plate finished, and you got to glue the foam skull on top of that. I forgot to videotape that and videotape putting in the mouth plate, but it's pretty simple to understand. This is the head we have right now. It's all sewed up and glued. But yeah, the mouth plate right now is glued in. I tend to not sew the mouth plate on monsters because it can rip easily, and I hate that. But you know, he has a very normal size mouth plate, as you can see. A little bigger than some of my other characters with green fur. So this is a size comparison of one of my aliens that I built, and the new head that I built for a monster. You can see how there's a pretty big difference mouth plate wise of these characters, and head size too. But yeah, next what we're gonna do in the next video is working on the nose of our monster, and after that we'll work on the eyes of our monster, and you know, looks like our monster is coming along. So yeah.
Well, thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Bye.
Hey guys, remember, if you like this video, to give it a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out, so make sure whatever you do, you like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. See you later. Bye-bye.